With the last pick in this year's draft.
Please excuse my silk sock that is on my head. This is for your hair. It keeps it up and out of the way so you can get your work done. But let's just get right into why I'm making this video. This was a total puke fest of a game. Like, both teams were just playing to just piss off their fan base. Like, I'm looking at the Saints play and I'm trying to figure out what building stones can we use for next year. And I'm like, what the fuck can we use? I will say this, Bryan Bresee and Kendre Miller, those boys are dogs. That is something you can actually build off of going forward. But everything else, man, I just don't know. The New York Giants are in place to pick third in the draft this year. They played every bit of this game like a team picking third overall. So many points taken off the board due to bonehead plays. They could have been down only 1 point going into the fourth quarter. Let me repeat what I just said to you. They would only have been down 1 point going into the fourth quarter against your New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, as I record this video, is picking number 10 in the draft. The way that they played this game, I don't know if they should be picking number 10. They need to be in the top 5. If you played any other team besides the New York Giants and all this stuff happened in the game, you would be on the receiving end of an L. I mean, watching this game was so boring. It was like watching someone get their teeth pulled. You might as well go on YouTube, type up root canal and watch that shit instead of watching the New Orleans Saints play. And the thing about it is, I get so much flack for telling the truth about the New Orleans Saints. And then it be you blind Saints supporters and Carr fans, Carr's Angels, the Carr Hive. Y'all want to tell me what I'm seeing on this fucking TV isn't what I'm seeing? That's what you call gaslighting. Telling me that everything is okay while I'm watching total BS on the TV. But hey, let's talk about it. Let's go into depth about this game. The New York Giants, of course, comes into this game with the third pick overall. They do not have any desire to win this game. Why? Because at this point, they are in line to draft a quarterback, a franchise quarterback. They are not going for it with Drew fucking Lock. And even though the Saints are going to probably win this game, it does not feel like a win, bro. It does not feel like a win. It feels like an L. You can tell by all the drop passes, all the penalties, that this team is just trying to make it interesting, but they're trying to lose at the same time. They're not trying to give you full reason to believe that they are tanking, but they're giving you reasons throughout the game to say that they're tanking. And that just feels so bad because the Saints are in a dogfight with a team who is trying to lose. Let me repeat that one more time. The New Orleans Saints were in a dogfight with a team trying to lose. You are struggling to win a game against a team that is trying to lose. It's like those Aaron Brooks days when we were too good to not get a top pick, but also not good enough to get to the playoffs. However, at least Aaron Brooks got us to the playoffs and won a playoff game against the defending Super Bowl champs. So I can't talk too much trash about Aaron Brooks. He at least got to the playoffs and he at least won a playoff game. But do you want to know a quarterback that has not won a playoff game? Derek Carr. I've said this so many times on this channel. Derek Carr is the epitome of an average, mediocre quarterback. He will do just enough for him not to have a bad game, but he does not do enough for you to win the game. Oh, he'll win the game against bad teams. But when you need him to step up and win the game for you, like the quarterback you paid him to be, he's nowhere to be found. This game against the Giants was straight up check down Charlie game management type of vibes. He threw a absolute terrible interception, but then followed that up with a touchdown. And you know exactly where that puts him? Bam! Right in the middle, average, mediocre game. And if you come here to gaslight me and tell me that Derek Carr isn't the problem and he's some elite quarterback and it's the team fault, you're going to be in the comment section talking amongst each other because I'm not going to respond to that BS. Yes, Derek Carr is the best quarterback we have on this team. He is better than Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener, but that's not saying too much. But he's giving you the absolute same production as Trevor Siemian, Andy Dalton, and Jameis Winston a few years ago. And if you don't believe me, go look it up, man. Go look it up. I'm willing to bet you $1,000 that Derek Carr will not win anything of importance in a Saints uniform. Maybe if he joins another team, maybe. I doubt it. I don't think he wins anything anywhere else. That's just me being honest about the situation. I'm not a Carr hater. I am a realist. I love the New Orleans Saints. And right now, this don't look good because it's still going on. And it looks like the Giants just scored. Man, this team is just trash, man. I'm so sorry to all you people who were Saints fans before I was a Saints fan. I became a Saints fan in 1999. I know it was darker days before 1999. I did witness some other darker days, but not the real bad dark days. I feel bad for y'all, and I know some of y'all like, hey, we've seen worse times, but man, that shit still hurts. Imagine this big ass banquet going on inside of this room, and you are on the outside of that room door looking in. Every time someone goes in, you see them throwing food, salami, people got sandwiches being thrown, they just wasting food. And every year you are looking into that room wishing that you were inside of that room eating and throwing food around. But while you're outside of that room, you don't know how it feels to be inside that room. So are you really missing out on something that you never had? Now imagine you finally get into that room and they're throwing food and you're eating food and you're throwing food back, you're having a great time. And then all of a sudden they say, hey, you gotta leave this room now. And now you're back on the other side of the door watching people open the door, go into the room and throw food around. Now you're sitting there reminiscing of all the food that you were throwing, all the food that you were eating, and all the good times you were having. That is exactly what the New Orleans Saints is going through. We were on the other side of the door watching teams go through that door and eat. And then we finally got in there and experienced the food just for us to be put right back outside the door. And now we're watching other teams go into that room and eat food. You gave us fine dining and then took that away from us. Of course, we're gonna feel some type of way about that. Man, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rant. I'm not trying to go too deep into things. It's just, this is what the New Orleans Saints bring you to. This is what the New Orleans Saints bring me to. But going down the list, Kendre Miller had a good game. I wish Alvin Kamara got more yardage so he could get to that 1,000 yard mark. The receivers didn't do too much of anything. I don't know. I have to go back and watch the all 22 to see if they got open. The offensive line was pretty shaky, but also the New York Giants defensive line is pretty good, even though they're missing one of their best players on that line. That's something that they can build off of going into the future. As far as the defense goes, our defensive line played okay. You got our boy Brian Brzee out there getting sacks, out here deflecting balls. Shout out to him, man. He might be a better pass rush than our outside edge rushers. TJ Jones over on State of the Saints said that he should be moved to the outside. And hey, look, the way that he rushed the quarterback, I ain't mad at it. He got like 7.5 sacks on the season. That's the leading sack getter on our team. Pause it if you need to, because I know that sounds kind of ditty-ish. Pause it if you need to. The DBs pretty much had the day off because Drew Lock can't get the ball down the field. So it's not too much we can say about that. The special teams kind of played iffy too. They did give up a punt return that got called back because of a Giants error. The Giants was just showing y'all that they did not want this game. And there's still some time on the clock. If the Saints end up losing this game, I don't know what to say. But the Giants showed you over and over and over that they did not want this game. This reminds me of the game against the Atlanta Falcons. Two teams basically saying, here, take the game. I don't want it. And we know for a fact that the Saints aren't trying to tank, so that makes it even worse. What the hell are we doing? To know that our team is actually trying and they're out here looking like this makes me very sad. And for what I just seen on the TV, Derek Carr is injured trying to jump over his player. Man, like, I'm sorry, man. Derek Carr, I hope that your career continues, but once it's time for you to leave New Orleans, man, like, take care of yourself, bro. Because we already know, man, this city, this team, this isn't for you. And I know the Carr Hive is out there like, well, Derek Carr, I don't want to hear it. Maybe if he goes to the Jets or somebody, the Jets probably gonna get a quarterback in the draft. I don't know yet. I don't know what team he goes to. But this type of product on the field just can't be living anymore, bro. It just can't be the truth. Man, it just kills me to acknowledge the fact that this is actually the mid bowl. This is really a mid fest, man. This is an actual puke-a-thon. Just two teams that are just trash. And I hate to say this, but the Saints are in that echelon with the trash teams of the NFL. And you can hate me all you want to. I'm keeping it real. If you are struggling to put away the Giants, who are picking third, bro, I've said this so many times. If you are struggling to put away the Giants, you have a bigger problem on your hand. The Jaguars, who have the first overall pick with a healthy Trevor Lawrence, I believe can beat the New Orleans Saints today. Matter of fact, that same team beat our same team last year. And the reason why I bring that game up is because I was in the dome that day. I was in the dome with good seats, eating my food. I had people from Florida who I knew was in the Superdome laughing at me. Total bullshit. And I'm trying not to cuss, but this is what this team makes me do, bro. But look, man, the Saints are still playing right now. It looks like the Giants have the football with 2 minutes to go and they're moving down the field. All they have to do is get a field goal. If the Saints don't pull this game out, well, it is what it is, I guess.